Blog Talk Radio.
Recruiting animal here on April 5, 2017. You know, Sister Allison Cruz told me she doesn't like the music I play so much anymore, but I like it. I like it, Allison. I want you to know that, okay? I don't have to agree with everybody. Anyway, coming back to the date, April 5th, 2017. When I see 2017, I realize that I'm living in the future. When I was a kid, I used to wonder about life in the year 2000. Now, 2000 was a long time ago, and that has changed my perspective. I always liked reading history, but getting older and seeing a lot of time pass by has given me a more realistic perspective on the past. I don't think it felt any different from living in the present, okay? And I once read an interview by Andrei Tarkovsky, okay? I'm very intellectual. Andrei Tarkovsky was the director of Solaris, not the version with George Clooney, the original that came out in 1972, 4 years after 2001 Space Odyssey. That was directed by Stanley Kubrick. I know I'm burdening you. Kubrick, Tarkovsky, they're both directors of movies about outer space. Anyway, Tarkovsky said that Kubrick glamorized the future, and that wasn't the way it's really going to feel. Spaceships, he said, were just going to be mundane tools like the everyday stuff that people are already used to. And you know what? I agree with him. I think it's true. I'm still amazed sometimes, for a second or two, how easily I can talk with Maureen down in Cincinnati and Pauline over in Australia at the exact same time. But mostly, I just take it for granted. And I believe that when we feel nostalgic about the past, it's because we're looking at it as observers, which takes away all of the normal concerns that occupy your mind. And I guess that's true of looking at the future as well. It gives it a magic quality that it doesn't really have when you're not really living in it, okay? Okay, isn't that heavy? But I'm going to tell you about one place that is magic for real because it's different from every place else, and that's right here on Jerry. Jerry, can you tell us what show is this?
The Recruiting Animal Show!
Thank you, Jerry! Yeah, something's wrong with that tape. It's starting to warble. Jerry's on vacation. Okay, I have to make an announcement. Jerry is not here today. Jerry fans, go home. Okay, turn off the show. I don't want to see on Twitter you guys complaining that I'm nobody without Jerry. Okay, I had enough of that. Yeah, you know what? I don't have to fight for 5 minutes to do an ad when Jerry's not here. Okay? No. Is Maureen here?
I'm here, sir.
Wake up. You know, Maureen and I had a conversation this morning about interviewing candidates in your sleep, right? If you believe, it's true. If you believe that there's more to the world than what you can see with your everyday senses, it should be possible, shouldn't it? Why not? So that's the next frontier. Forget about AI. Sleep interviews. That's it. Okay?
Yeah, sleep interviews.
Okay, move on, okay? I want to say today, one of my sponsors is the guest, and there is no conflict of interest there. I'm going to give this guy a hard time, and I welcome you to do so as well, okay? He's not going to pay his way out of being a regular guest. Everybody has to know that. But I'm going to actually do the ad as a way of introduction, and then I'll make him answer questions to prove what I say in the ad is actually true. Okay? So the guest name is Ninh Tran, and he's the COO. I won't spell Ninh for you today, okay? But he's the COO of a company.
I just did.
Yeah, okay, good. He's a COO of a company called Hiretual, but I will spell that. Hiretual. Hiretual. You know, Maureen, JD Jason Davis, he got me to act as a middleman to try to sell them a new name. He's got all these domain names, and he wanted to make some money off them.
Good for Jason.
Yeah, he's smart. Anyway,
Very
Hiretual.
smart.
Yeah, Hiretual is famous for being great at finding email addresses. But what it really is a total sourcing solution. The other day on my Facebook group, the most fantastic Facebook group in the world, although Maureen has one too, called Sources Unleashed. Anyway, on my group, a recruiter, a real in-the-trenches recruiter said, Hiretual is amazing. I'm cutting out LinkedIn Recruiter as soon as my contract is up. And then another recruiter, whom I know personally online, she said, all you really need is a $60 LinkedIn account and a Hiretual subscription, and it ends up being way, way cheaper. So she said, go to Hiretual.com, get a demo from Ninh Tran, who's my guest today. Do that right away, and you'll be very happy. So I'm going to ask Ninh Tran if that's true. But I've got a few other things, actually, burning questions first. Ninh Tran, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Oh, good.
I'm glad
you're here. Maureen, do you want to sing a song, Maureen, before we get going?
Absolutely. What do you want to sing today?
You know that Herman's Hermits, Something Tells Me I'm In For Something Good?
Yeah, I remember that song. I was about 10 when that came out.
What about Graham Caulfield? Graham is on the show from Australia. No, he's Australian, but he lives in Texas. Graham, you want to sing with us? You must know that song. Graham. Well, now he's be quiet. He talked before the show. Okay.
Nobody wants to sing on the radio.
Yeah, okay. We'll just do, I asked to see her next week, and she told me I could.
Yeah, I could.
She told me I could.
I could.
Something tells me
I'm in for something good.
Tells me I'm in
for something
good. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Ninh.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
That's the Beatles
You know,
song.
Jackson says, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm in love with you. It's easy because I know. Okay. Anyway, Ninh, here's a burning question before we talk about Hiretual.
Everybody's in love with Hiretual.
Yeah, okay. But I want to talk about Nymeria. I want to talk about Nymeria. I watched Dean DaCosta interviewed just this past Friday. He said that Nymeria is one of his favorite email finders. And then on Monday, I found out they closed up. LinkedIn forced them out of business. Now, what happens to a guy like Ninh Tran when he wakes up and finds out that his competition has been closed down? Does he feel good, or does he start shaking in his boots that tomorrow this is going to happen to me? Because Hiretual does searches on LinkedIn. Ninh Tran, over to you.
Yeah, I heard about Nymeria. Actually, someone messaged me that on Facebook because I'm a busy guy. But I honestly had mixed feelings because one thing, it's a competitor, obviously. So one less guy to worry about. But another thing, what does it say about LinkedIn and their reach into our community?
No. What does it say about LinkedIn and your job? Okay, that's what I want to know. Are you in danger the same way that Nymeria was in danger?
No, Hiretual is absolutely safe.
Why is that?
I don't know what.
Animal, can I ask an early question? Because I've just been trying to play with Hiretual a little bit, and this is Kathy Manis, and I haven't really delved into it, but I wondered if you only used LinkedIn to scrape, or do you scrape the whole web?
We scrape the whole web. which includes Google, Bing, Facebook, all the other platforms. But
it would make a difference if LinkedIn shut them out.
I'd like to introduce the Boom Band Showcase. My name is Jeff Taylor. I'm the host of the show. I'm the founder of Monster.com and Boom Band. This is a podcast about job seekers. They're struggling right now. The ghosted jobs, the black hole, everything is challenging. What we want to do is create real stories, get them talking about their superpowers, have you see what they're really like, because you're going to want to hire them. Give me a sign that you love your life.
Let him answer my question now. Okay, so if LinkedIn closed you out, then you would still have all these other platforms to search. But LinkedIn is obviously important to you. Can they close you out tomorrow? Is this a bad question? You can say,
no,
hey,
it's a fair question. I mean,
I'm paying for your show. Don't ask me that question, okay? Go ahead. You can say that.
It's a fair question. I get that on demo calls once in a while. I hear from people who are telling me, hey, we're so sick of LinkedIn and what they do.
Look, you know what? People tell me that this show gets too long.
I already gave you an answer.
We're 10
no.
minutes into the show.
We'll be fine.
We haven't got one question answered yet.
No, LinkedIn can't just block Hiretual off.
Okay, I don't understand what he said, everybody, except that he said LinkedIn cannot shout out Hiretual. Did you have another question, Kathy, that's going to get a clear answer?
Yeah, I want to know if he is looking for investors at all.
If I'm looking for investors, yes, we are. That's something you can talk to our CEO about. He's doing the investor relations.
Okay.
Why are you interested in investing?
She's a wealthy woman, and she wants to make put her money somewhere good. Okay, good. I'm going to ask him some real questions. What about what these recruiters said?
That was a real question. What, are you kidding me?
Not for me, it wasn't. It's not going to make me money, okay? But this is a question. Hiretual. You can get rid of your LinkedIn recruiter and get a $60 LinkedIn account instead with a Hiretual subscription, and you'll be ahead of the game. Is that true? Ninh?
That is completely true. We can completely replace LinkedIn recruiter. We have more data than LinkedIn.
Okay, if you've got a Hiretual and a $60 LinkedIn account, $60 a month, how much is it going to cost you compared to the? You want to talk about that?
Sure. So LinkedIn recruiter.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you just say Hiretual has more data than LinkedIn?
Yes, we do, because we data mine the deep web. So LinkedIn is only limited to its users, versus we're not limited to just one platform.
Yeah, come on, Maureen. They search GitHub and all those.
I know,
other
but
things.
to hear it stated like that is
didn't shock
cool.
me. Okay, wake up.
Okay, but I'm a techno idiot. What can I tell you?
No. Did you do prep with him to lob him some easy questions before he came on the show? Don't do that.
And then, good idea. Next time, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. Can you answer a question?
You're on.
Can you answer a basic question? How much is it going to, if I get rid of my LinkedIn recruiter, imagine I had it, and I get a $60 a month account, right? And I get a Hiretual subscription, how much am I going to be paying?
LinkedIn recruiter costs about $1,000 per month. Yearly, that's $12,000. Okay. With Hiretual, we have a tier that's $700 a year. So you're going to be saving $10,000 and $300. Some people have, yes, not kidding. Some people have custom plans with LinkedIn, so they negotiate their price. So some people are paying $400, $500, $600 per month, but still we're only $700 for the whole year and some change.
Anybody want to talk to him about that? Before I move on?
So on average, you can save $10,000 a year with Hiretual over LinkedIn.
Yes.
And they don't want, and they're not trying to. They're not trying to put you out of business if you're undercutting them like that to search their own platform.
Well, I don't think
well, that's a good question. I think they're not really happy about it. So a lot of companies, what they have been doing is replacing LinkedIn with Hiretual, but generally they don't really care about the small recruiters. And now that Microsoft has acquired them, I don't think Microsoft cares about LinkedIn revenue.
Animal?
Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
Hi, Ninh. Hey, Alan Fleur here in Los Angeles. Ninh, my question on that topic is what is to prevent Microsoft LinkedIn at this point to just basically, because LinkedIn's thing was they kept charging and removing because they wanted more and more of a piece of the pie of the fees that they weren't getting from the free accounts. What's to prevent LinkedIn from getting ticked off and just saying, you know what, we're gonna do X, which now blocks Nymeria, and now all of a sudden you're out of luck.
Did you just wake up? We asked them that already.
I heard it. Technically.
Yeah, technically it's easier to kind of find a way to even open the door, even though they closed it. So, for example, when they changed the new UI, right, they took away, title searches. They took away a lot of the premium filters, right? And we found a way to bring them back.
Okay.
And then they brought it back because.
Okay. You know what? This is dragging, okay? I got a show to go on here. It's like the Ed Sullivan Show. They don't want the guys thinking during the Ed Sullivan Show. It's the same here. But hold on a second, Ninh. What was I going to say? You made me forget. On your job ad, it'll come back to me. You are advertising for an entry-level software engineer, and you make it clear that you only want people from UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, or Stanford with computer science degrees. Why only those two schools? Are other people not smart enough for you?
No, we want local candidates. So Stanford's close to our office. I'm from Berkeley.
I went to Berkeley.
I think if you go to Berkeley or Stanford, especially for computer science department, then you're going to be pretty much grilled in terms of the projects and the amount of work that you have to do. Our engineers, they work almost around the clock, so we want someone that's going to fit that mold, and Berkeley, Stanford is...
Slave mold? Slave mold? Around the clock?
No, it's not a slave mold, but they can handle a lot of work. Okay? I don't think, I wouldn't call our engineers slaves.
Are you telling me that someone who lives in Minneapolis isn't good enough for Hiretual if they're willing to reload?
Sure. I'm open. I mean, there was a guy on that post that asked me.
Excited. You don't sound excited anymore. You sound nervous.
Well, I'm trying to answer your question, Michael. There was a guy on that post that said, I know better engineers than from Cal State or San Jose University State. And he said, it's not really fair or equal if you're just selecting from Berkeley or Cal or Stanford.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if you know those people, send them my way.
Okay, but in the meantime, for your own advertising, you're going to advertise from those two schools. You also say that you're looking for someone who's humble and loyal. How do you screen for those two things?
Just got to talk to them.
Well, give me an example. Tell me of how you found someone who was humble. What do you say? Are you a humble person? You better believe it, buddy.
We look at his.
Hold on. You'll never find anybody more humble than me. Is that what they say? And you say, man, that's good. I want to hire you.
It's humble bragging, right? No. You gotta just meet the person in person and just see how they take care of themselves. If you ask them about tell me about yourself and the decisions that you make that make you today. Tell them about your life story. Get to know them.
That is a horrible question.
Yeah.
It is, but that's a question that, for example, Elon Musk is asking consistently for every employee that wants to work at Tesla or SpaceX, and it works for him.
Or is that what he put? Is that what his PR guy says he asked?
Oh, okay. He said, Jim said, Jim's always on a bad phone, or almost always. He said that's what their public relations people say they ask, but probably they don't really ask that. I don't know.
No, actually, he said it himself on a World Conference Summit in Dubai.
Okay. Is
Doesn't
he
mean
one of
does
the?
it every time? It's like the Chuck Schwab guy who always misorders the meal. I don't know why we continue to fall for that. It's fake news, people.
Okay.
I mean,
so the same thing with
for us,
loyal.
Right? We ask different interview questions. I am not the hiring manager for this particular role. I hire for the customer success intern.
Okay, but you posted an ad for it, under your own personal name, and for the intern role, you also say you want someone who's a natural helper, an intentional listener, an empathetic communicator. How do you test for those things?
You give them a real-world example. If I ask them, hey, can you help me to talk to this guy? Is he willing to do that? Right? Is he comfortable on the phone? Could you pick up the phone and try to resolve this customer issue right then and there? And then we listen. How he talks, how she carries herself, and we could do like a practice with our current customer success person, Jason, and then we'll do a live one. So it's really like a hands-on interview for that.
Yeah, but they don't know your product well enough to get on the phone with a customer yet, do they?
No, they don't have to. We would coach them, obviously, for 1 hour. And that's why I have the preferred someone with recruiting and sourcing experience. Because a lot of the questions that we get is, hey, can you help me with this Boolean string? Or, just general web browser questions.
Okay, here's a question for you. If sourcing tools make sourcers more effective, it makes their work faster and higher quality. So if someone gets Hiretual, how many sourcers can that Hiretual replace? Like how many people are going to lose their jobs because their companies start using your stuff? You like these questions? Is it okay?
I do like these questions, but I would prefer if nobody lost their job. So essentially, like technology.
I would prefer if there was a tooth fairy in the world as well, okay?
Well, for example, someone like a VP of HR, their CFO, the other day asked me, well, if I were to buy this tool, then I have to fire 2 people, right, to afford it, because we also have the team version, which is a little bit more expensive, and he wanted to buy it for his whole company. And I said, no, don't do that. That doesn't make any sense, right? If I was you, I wouldn't do that myself. What I would do is get maybe a portion of Hiretual for your teams and to make your current staff more efficient, better, faster, finding clients and making placements. Because for me, technology is not about replacing people. It shouldn't be. The best of technologies is there to make people's lives easier.
Okay. If it makes you a better recruiter, if it doubles your sourcing ability, and you only need 2 sourcers, then it doesn't make sense to keep 2 of them on the team. That's the end of that issue. Next question.
No, I don't think so, because if let's say you have doubled the output, okay, you'll get more business. Okay, it's not like we're all just in a limited resource world.
Okay. Satisfaction levels. you say, with your own data, you say that on a satisfaction scale, a survey, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being complete satisfaction, people using the paid LinkedIn, it's scored about 4.75. That means people are pretty happy with it, right?
Yeah, I did that survey before they changed to new UI too. And the reason why is because only about 20% of people didn't make any hires if they used LinkedIn Recruiter for the whole year. But the rest of them, they made at least one. So I don't know how much commission or whatever you charge. The satisfaction rate was essentially if you break even or not. Makes sense?
Okay. You said, and here's what you said. You gave stats. People who use paid LinkedIn, 20% of them, like you just said, made no hires at all. Why not? Did they use it?
Well, that's a good question. They did use it. Sometimes they use it for a while, and then they figure out, well, it's not worth it, and stop using it.
Okay. Anybody else got questions for Ninh? Anybody else? Because I'm going to do an ad.
I do.
Go
Animal.
Go ahead, Kat.
Ninh, if you did lose access to LinkedIn, would your tool be just as successful as it currently is, or could it be even better?
If let's say in the Armageddon world we lose access to LinkedIn, then you could still search all of LinkedIn.
Kathy, I got to tell you something. Kathy, hold on a second. I'm in charge of this show, okay? Kathy, I read an article by Ninh. I didn't know. Since LinkedIn bought SlideShare, all the PDF resumes that are uploaded to LinkedIn, they go over to SlideShare. Not a lot of people, I think, post their resumes.
Oh.
But anybody who does post their resume on LinkedIn, you could get it out of SlideShare. I was shocked when I read that. I didn't know it. Does everybody else
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I don't know how significant it is,
SlideShare
though.
is LinkedIn
Of course we did.
resume black hole.
Hey, let's give
Pardon
him
me?
props. That question about customer service was pretty sweet. He takes people, he trains them for an hour, and then has them actually do the job.
Yeah.
Much better than asking them if they're humbled. I mean, that's a pretty good question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I started the customer service at Hiretual, and I kept it simple and stupid. Just listen to the people, listen to their problems, be empathetic. So you gotta be able to feel what they feel. So let's say, the browser's not working and Hiretual is not working in the browser. I'm gonna be feeling frustrated. Okay, whether it's user error or technical error or whether it's Hiretual's error, right? It doesn't matter. The fact is, here's a person. He's struggling and asking for help, right? Whatever he's
bring
feeling.
out the violins, everybody. Hey, I'm moving on. Okay, I heard enough of that.
Okay.
I'm gonna do an ad. I got another sponsor. Hey, everybody. Martin Snyder. He's the boss. Marty Snyder. He's the boss over at PC Recruiter. And he emailed me yesterday and said, "Hey, Animal, what am I paying you for? You say the same thing on every show." He said, "Tomorrow, I want you to tell them this. Hey," and he gave me this. "Hey, everybody, PC Recruiter has a lot of new features, and the one I want to focus on right now is comprehensive semantic text search, powered by Career Builder's text kernel technology." So, I wrote back to him. I said, "Marty," I said, "I can say PC Recruiter loves you. I understand that. But these are big words for me. I don't know what I'm talking about." He said, "Look,"
I was thinking.
He said, "You want to get paid. I don't care if you understand. It's time for you to smarten up." Okay?
Go to
so I'm going to read you what he said. He said, "When you combine this text search with PC Recruiter's existing Boolean and literal text search features," and I warned him, my audience doesn't understand this either. But when you take this comprehensive semantic text search and you combine it with the Boolean and literal text search, you've got one of the strongest document search tools available, not just in the free world, and not just in the first world, but in the known universe. Maybe aliens have something better, but I can't tell you anything about that, okay? So there you have it. Comprehensive semantic text search. If you're a brainiac like Ninh or Jim or Alan or Kathy, go check it out at PCRecruiter.net. If you're like Maureen and me, I don't know what to tell you. PCRecruiter.net, then love buddy. Okay, recruiter. Okay, so
PC Recruiter is pretty cool, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, PC Recruiter. He did an ad for me. I'm not giving you a discount for doing that, okay? Now, look, you said startups have a terrible time of getting staff, right?
Welcome to the Hire Her podcast, where women in talent call all the shots. We know, another recruiting podcast, just what the industry needs. Okay, but hear us out. You ever spend hours sourcing that perfect candidate, but they end up ghosting you harder than your Hinge date? Or finally, you get that hiring manager feedback, only for them to, of course, say, "Can we see more candidates?" Lame, right? But let's talk about what's really lame in the industry. How is it that 65% of recruiters are brilliant women, yet most of the decision makers look like a convention for middle-aged dudes named Brad?
That's where we come in. Hire Her isn't just another podcast about hiring trends you already heard like 50 times this week. We're here to elevate women in talent, share their career journeys, and make sure they take the lead. Because let's face it, if recruiting is the backbone of every company, why are we still fighting for a seat at the table? So whether you're a recruiter, a talent leader, or just someone trying to swim through the sausage fest of TA leadership, we got you, girl. Welcome to Hire Her, the recruiting podcast where women's voices aren't just heard, but they're leading the conversation.
So subscribe now, because middle management Brad sure as hell isn't going to do it for you.
I do?
Yeah, you said it in an article. You said through AngelList, for instance, startups with 1 to 10 employees only get like 7 applicants for their job.
Yeah, so AngelList is pretty good for startups. But the thing is, startups are not very known for stability, and a lot of job seekers still looking for that, looking for salary, looking for stability. It takes a different kind of person to apply for startups, right? And 90% of startups, they're really small. They're pre-seed. They don't have any money even, and that's the companies that would post job on AngelList. And if you don't have a product, you don't have any funding, you don't have anything, it's just you, the founder, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you attract people?
Okay, so they can't. But here's what
you're
you
not
said.
doing recruiting or marketing, right?
Okay, but you gave advice.
You're not going to know anything
let
about.
Let me get to the point. Okay, it's not your show. It's
All
my
right.
show. Okay, let me get to the point. You said this was your tip to recruiters. You said go to these guys. Don't ask for any money. Ask for equity in the company as your payment. Is that for real?
Yes, that's for real. That is for real, but be careful who you pick as a client too, right? Essentially, if you're going to ask for equity for a company, you're going to get the placement a lot easier. Some founders might be super reluctant to give you any type of equity, like at Hiretual. No one gets equity unless you're a full-time employee. We'll pay you, but anyway, there's some founders they're lenient. They'll say, sure, we need to hire to understand the value of recruiting and getting the hires faster than waiting for them to come. Yeah.
Get to the point. How much money? How much equity are we asking for? Do you know anyone who's done this in real life?
Yes, I do.
No?
I forgot who. They are a sales boutique firm here in
common
SF.
like 20 years ago.
Yes.
It was really common 20 years ago. It's a horrible idea now.
So why, Jim?
Well,
why, Jimmy?
Because if you give equity, the problem with giving equity and spreading it around, especially a recruiter, is when you're raising money. Now the investors are a lot more sophisticated. They look at who you've given equity to.
That's true.
And if you've given it to a recruiter, you're going to have problems in your A round I mean, it's bad enough for your seed funding if you have to spend it. So it's very, very difficult to do. People who give it to you aren't going to IPO. It's half the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a great idea for somebody, but it hasn't worked in a long time because investors are smarter now.
And the other problem. Go ahead.
Alan, go ahead.
Here's the thing, right?
Alan,
they can buy you out too.
Alan first.
And the other problem is if you give it to a recruiter, because I've turned those down a number of times, is that once they go to get their next funding, financing, or if on the rare case they want to IPO, they got to come to you to get you to sign off on it. And now the company has a really big problem because now you're the little guy who wants a big check, and the company's screwed.
Okay. Do you have a rejoinder for them, Ninh? A fast one?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the company can buy you out at any point they want, unless you have something stated in your.
Buy me out.
Well, obviously,
pay me.
Yeah, they can buy you out at Series A or Series B.
I'm moving on. Ding, 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 ding,
ding,
ding, ding.
This is valuable information.
I'm moving on, everybody. Don't make me mute you. Okay, I thought I wouldn't have to say that with Jerry not here. I want to tell people a little more about searching on SlideShare. Okay, Ninh uses X-ray search. He'll go to site:/slideshare.net, and then he's got these parentheses, and he searches CV or curriculum vitae or resume or HR resume, and he's got it laid out there. So he'll do a standard X-ray search on Google, but he also goes to Google Images. That's www.google.com/IMGHP, and he does a search in there and gets a whole bunch of JPEG files of resumes. Am I right about that, Ninh?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you do the X-ray, you'll see a couple of results, but if you go into Images, you'll see even more results, and the reason why is because image files, essentially media files, are cached by Google for longer times than a hyperlink would be.
Okay.
Make sense?
You said, no, we're going to do a bunch of bullet points so people can't say, oh, I didn't get anything out of the show. You said that Google has 500 sourcers that they use, internal and external put together. 500.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Boy.
A lot of sources. Well, because they're investing a lot into getting the top people for Google, and that's how one of the strategies that Google's trying to stay relevant for the future. Hire the best people.
And you said, I told you bullet points, just follow me. Okay, you say the average technical sourcer hourly salary is $47 an hour.
That's correct.
Okay, so, and then you say...
That seems pretty high.
Does it?
Yeah, they make about $90K, $95K a year at Google.
Okay, and then you say according to LinkedIn, the total market for talent sourcing solutions, the market you are in, is worth $115 billion. 115. Are you saying that people are spending over $100 billion on sourcing tools every year?
Not just on sourcing tools. So I think that one was HR tech, right?
Okay. Okay. All HR
was that
tech.
Correct? Yeah. So all HR tech is 150
Okay, well, here's what
so
you
for example,
said. Okay, you can say, you can correct it now, but here's what you said. According to LinkedIn's report, the total addressable market, TAM, of talent sourcing solutions is $115 billion. So talent sourcing, I guess, could include ATS.
Yeah.
I wasn't clear. That is huge.
Yeah.
$115 billion. Unbelievable. And I'm not making any part of that. Okay? Whatever crumbs you and
You're
Marty
making something,
give me
right,
for this
Michael?
show, that's all I'm getting.
Well, I can tell you that, for example, a Fortune 7 company would have about $20 million dollar budget maybe 10 years ago for HR tech. That's
Okay,
one
wow.
single company, right?
Okay, so what about finding construction workers? My guess is, and Alan might want to comment on this, even though I'm going to ask him about it again. I think someone was looking for electrical superintendents or something like that for contractors, and he commented on it. But let's say construction workers. You can't use Hiretual to find those guys, right?
Yeah, you can.
Where?
You can use Hiretual to find anyone, blue collar or white collar. I will tell you that our weakness is, in terms of the contact information, is construction people in the middle of nowhere. Okay, but you can find them. You can go on Facebook, just type in constructions with the Hiretual Boolean builder. Facebook doesn't have Boolean, but we'll make it as close to Boolean, and you're gonna find a ton. Okay, you can reach out to them right on Facebook if you want. Sometimes we'll have their professional data if we have it, right? Sometimes we don't, just because Facebook has 1.8 billion people.
No. You told me that now you guys can reveal professional titles even if they're not listed on Facebook. Am I right or wrong about that?
That's correct. Yes, you're right. You're right, and that's what I was talking about.
So how do you find that accurately? Because construction people and other professions, especially the post Animal's talking about, those guys are too busy. They're not on social media. The best way to find them is to text them. So it's one of those rare things that, finding their contact information. That's all. And finding out who they are.
Yeah.
You can use LinkedIn, Facebook, and others to get a limited exposure to the market, to the candidates, but nothing near what you can for finance, real estate, or tech people. And I agree with you there. And I'd like to hear from the group, because I think the best way to do it for most of it is what we're doing now. Get on the damn phone.
Okay. Well, moving on. Next question.
I completely agree with you on that, because you can do and find people online, and there's going to be construction or whoever, essentially. But for blue collar, let's say for miners, for truck drivers, it's really going to be the grassroots marketing. You call in the churches, you call in nearby community centers, and you ask who's looking for a job, right?
You call churches?
You go to career fairs.
You call churches? Hold on, that's Jerry's joke. He always says, I'm sure I could recruit someone at a church if I had to. And you're actually advising recruiters to call churches.
Yes, I do. Call the church, call up the pastor and ask them, build relationship first, introduce yourself, what you're about, right? Because they care about, I assume most pastors care about their folks. And then ask them, is this like a good fit for someone that within your community or not? Because the pastors would know the people's pain, right? I don't have a job. I don't have this. I have struggles with my manager, blah, blah, blah. It's confidential, so he's not going to tell you all of that.
What you're going to get is, I know a guy who's just getting out of jail. I'll send him over to see you. So just like you said. Just like you said, the people who are in trouble, he knows their pain points. That's not necessarily the kind of person you're looking for. Listen, I got a question. I got to move on. Okay, if you were going to set up, Ninh, I'm going to give you a break in a few minutes, okay? Because I don't think you like the way the interview's going. But if you were going to set up,
I like it. I'm having fun.
Okay. Yeah, this is you having fun. Okay, if you were going to set up, a third-party recruiting firm tomorrow. Let's say LinkedIn put you out of business for a fantasy. I'm just fantasy. God forbid it should never happen. But let's say something like that did, and you decided I'm going to set up a. Okay, I know that. Okay, sorry, I don't want to ruin your brand. Okay, if you set up a third-party recruiting firm, you say, hey, I'm going to set up a third-party recruiting firm. How would you do it? What would it look like? I'm really curious about that.
I would just go back to our roots. We started as a third-party agency, and essentially we would already have all the incorporation and all that, and I'll just be doing the sales and calling on hiring managers or
what kind
founders
of would you have a niche? Would you have a niche that you would choose?
Yes. So we did IT executive search here, and I would do that again.
That's what you like the best.
We also had a niche that was just specific to us, which was shipping people from U.S. To Asia. Okay. So, for example, we placed a CTO on a 50% commission that was here from Facebook and Twitter, and he went back to become the CTO of a startup there.
Okay. So that's actually a specialty because you have a lot of Asian people from different Asian countries, and so you guys can speak the language, maybe have connections there.
Right.
But your preference is IT executives. Is there any reason why that's an especially good field?
Well, the reason why is when you're placing in startups, almost everyone's going to be a director or VP, especially early stages when they're about to grow. Okay.
Okay, so you actually would target. Wait a sec. You'd actually target these startups we were talking about a few minutes ago. The ones that are pretty shaky. The ones that are shaky, or the ones that are a little more well established.
The ones that are hiring, and if someone's hiring, they better have money to pay their employees, right? So the ones that have money. And I think on the last
11
Animal
to 50?
Show,
because you break the people, those companies down like 1 to 10, 11 to 50.
For sure.
What
it's
size?
It's rare that there's gonna be a startup that's gonna talk to you under 10. So 5+, I'm open. 10+, the sweet spot's gonna be 20 to 30. When usually at that stage startups are entering hypergrowth, and they're either hiring internally or they're looking for outside help for the harder to fill roles.
Okay, I think Alan Flores worked that market as well. I'm going to go back to him in a minute, though. First, I have to do my second ad for Marty. Hey, you know, the other day, this one sounds a lot like the one I just did. The other day, Martin Snyder, you know, he's the boss over at PC Recruiter. I'm trying to brand him, give him more of a public image by talking about him all the time. Anyway, he asked me a question. He said, "Hey, Animal." You know, I should vary these a little more, but forgive me today, okay? He said, "Animal, did you ever notice that recruiters like lists, Lists?" And I said, "No, Marty, I didn't notice that." And he said, "Come on, you dumb bunny. They're always making lists of companies they want to get people from, and lists of people based on skills and geography and titles and postal codes and all that stuff." And then he puffed out his chest. You couldn't hire him for humility there. He puffed out his chest and said, "No recruiting software has better listing tools than PC Recruiter. You can do everything with these lists, okay? So many things you can't even imagine." So if you haven't seen PC Recruiter's list function in action, I am begging you, check it out, because you have not seen the #1 productivity feature of a true recruiting platform. So go over, please, to PCRecruiter.net. Do yourself a favor. Check out the lists. Thank you. Okay, Alan Fleur, if you're still on the line, have you recruited for startups?
Yes.
Is that an especially good niche? I mean, obviously, Ninh is a smart guy, okay? He would focus on that niche. You don't focus on it exclusively. You're all over the place. Why is that? Or maybe I should. Is it you? Can you answer that question?
Well, startups are unique because it's not just the skills needed. Or the cultural fit animal. You need a person that has a third important aspect of the startup mentality and what it takes. Instead of bringing in a COO to a startup, you need a COO that can do a startup or can work in that environment. That's what makes it tough. And the other thing that I walked away from a lot of searches in startups, because looking at the startups, if I'm not going to pull somebody out of a major company that's a quality person and put them into a risky environment. You know what you got a point there. And in Nin's article, he said, you know, these guys are in such big demand that if you advertise on AngelList, you're really going to get desperate job hunters. Ninh
Is that true?
Yeah,
you
you do. It really depends on the quality of your startup, like Alan said, right? I also walk away from some searches, but essentially, people will apply about up to 7, I think, for small startups, right? And my friends, they actually made hire just out of that pool, 1 out of 7, like seriously. So hiring is a lot easier, well, depending on the hiring manager, right? But it's a lot easier. You build, well, it really depends. So
yeah.
I agree with you.
It depends.
It really depends on how much relationship you can build. So just stay on the phone, talk to the person, listen to their pain, and see what they want. Okay.
The candidate or the company?
The company. For both. I mean,
the company.
Goes.
But here's one of the best ways to tell if the company has their stuff together is if you're going to go search for one of their executives, one of the first things I would check is tell me about your first 3, 4, 5 hires. How did you find them? Because what I'm looking for is I want to know that they tapped their network because that tells me they're intelligent. That's a quick and dirty that they're intelligent. If they say, oh, we put some stuff out on Monster and on LinkedIn and on Dice, it's like, what? You're a startup. You know people. Have you asked your network? Oh yeah, we should do that. Okay, I'm done. I'm not finding quality people for you. Just put out an ad, do a post and pray, and God help you when you cycle through 5 people.
For me, the biggest indicator for whether you're going to make a placement with a person is whether they're responding to your calls and emails. Okay, they don't want to talk to you, just drop the search.
No.
You're wasting your time.
I have lots of people calling me regularly that I would never hire.
Okay, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Okay, good alternatives to LinkedIn. This is from your own article, Ninh, and these are the platforms that you're searching on Hiretual. Okay, I'm going to run through. If I get something wrong, tell me. So Google and Bing, X-ray searches, right? That's good alternative to LinkedIn.
Yes.
Facebook Graph Search, Indeed, AngelList, GitHub, Twitter, Quora, Stack Overflow, PDF resume searches. That's just on Google and Bing again, right? Or you mean SlideShare? You're including that there, right?
Yes.
Is there any
essentially the whole internet is a good alternative to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just one platform online. Right. So when you think about the kind of like recruiter satisfaction, Indeed is a great place to search for people because Indeed is the biggest job board. A lot of the applicants are going to be active seekers. On the contrary to popular belief, you can and will find your purple squirrels on Indeed as well, the high-level executives, VPs, and directors. How I know? I do those searches, and we're able to find them. When you think about LinkedIn's database, okay, they have 467 million, but only about 126 million in U.S. Okay, I think Indeed has 140 million, okay, but half of that is in U.S.
Okay.
So essentially, if you're recruiting,
say that again.
Yeah. If you are recruiting in U.S., okay, if you just search on Indeed, that's 50% of more people, or some of them are going to be the same. But
okay, hold on. First of all, quite a while ago, you said since Microsoft bought LinkedIn, you don't think Microsoft is worried about making money from them. Is that what you said?
Hey, this is William Tincup. Listen, we did a series for iSolved called Heroes of HR, where we talk to HR practitioners. And these are just your run-of-the-mill, everyday, slogging it out, 300 employees in Cedar Rapids, HR pros. Mostly it's centered around iSolved and what they do with iSolved, but also they talk a lot about kind of the day-to-day rigor of HR. If you're curious about that, search for Heroes of HR wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you.
Yes. did
paid
say that.
$26 billion. Hold on. Wait. They paid $26 billion for it, and they're not worried about making any money?
They do make money on the acquisition. They don't really care about the LinkedIn revenue itself because it's only like, what, 700 million? Right? When you look at Microsoft stock, when you look at Microsoft stock in the past year, it rose about $6, which is around 10%. When you look at, after the post-acquisition, it's going to be about, in the last 3 months, you'll see a peak. And the reason why is they use LinkedIn's database to sell their own products. They use LinkedIn's data to improve Cortana, their AI, and so on and so forth.
Okay, really? Okay.
I'll give them that to a degree.
That's much bigger pie than, 600 or 700 million.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
They wanted the data. Yeah.
Really? $26 billion for data. Okay. Now you say.
It's
okay,
it's not just data, but it's okay.
Integrated platform.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I have a question, but you talk. You know what? Is there something that we've missed that you want to get out there, that you want to talk about, some topic?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys a story, actually, of two recruiters, kind of fictional story. So there's a recruiter. He is new in town, and at the beginning, right, there's different recruiters there at different agencies, but he quickly gained a lot of favor with the hiring managers because he built this network of people, his own network, right? And he was doing well. He was placing people were happy, and quickly he became very powerful and very rich and influential. Okay. Over time, he got pretty sloppy. I don't know what happened to him, but he became kind of like very monopolistic, I would say. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was either buying out people from different agencies to his own, or he was just pushing them out. Right. The story of Numero. Okay. But the people, all the hiring managers in that town, they saw this and they kind of subscribed to that idea of he's the only one that can provide results. He is the only one and that can last long, and it's really a mindset of fear. Okay. If most fairy tales teach you a lesson, like Mother Goose with the little red hen and stuff like that. Are we coming to a point here? Do we get to marry the king's daughter or something like that? Okay. Yes. So if someone
fairy
comes
tales
along,
are scary.
does business with full integrity, cares about his clients, kind of did what the other guy did at the beginning, right? He found a new way to get candidates to the hiring managers, and some of them just said no, just because they were so afraid. So, eventually another guy came to town, a bigger shot, bought him out, and now he's like pushing all of the resources from this town into a bigger city, and people are complaining and saw him for who he is. Okay. So I'll just leave it there.
Me, Jerry would be snoring already and groaning in the back. Okay, this is when I
will
need
just
the guy.
leave it there.
You had me at hello.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta tell you something. Don't go into the parable business, okay? That's not for you.
We're gonna have to dissect that and
Yeah,
we'll put up
something to think about.
Yeah, something we'll dissect that, and Animal will put a summation of that out there.
Here's the closer, okay? You talked about having recruiting. Your platform for recruiting people or sourcing people is the whole internet, and you call that the professional internet. When the internet becomes a supernet, you say, the network node starts to approach a singularity point, and this is some kind of revolutionary moment. Okay, I don't understand what you're talking about. What is that? What does that mean? And don't make it
singularity point.
Now you bring that up. Now this is interesting.
Yeah.
How do you
singularity
know,
point, in my own words, is essentially a point in time when artificial intelligence or whatever other form of intelligence becomes conscious in a way that it's going to be able to learn faster on its own.
Okay. The machines learn faster than people. They don't need us anymore.
And a lot of the experts in the field, for example, even the chief data scientist at Google in charge of AI and ML, who's been doing this for 30 years, she said around maybe 30, maybe 40 years is going to be the inflection point when technology with the help of AI is just going to skyrocket.
The what's going to skyrocket?
And that's essentially
Skynet.
Technology with AI, artificial intelligence. I'm not interested anymore. You're boring me. I'm going to tell everybody.
Not boring me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, put them on your show. Okay, now here's the takeaway from this show, okay? $10,000 a year, I think he said, for LinkedIn Recruiter, $700 for Hiretual, plus $60 a month for LinkedIn. Unbelievable. That's not an advertisement.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's not an advertisement. Scary, okay? And I want to thank everybody here today.
I want to add to that. Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, your
All right.
last words.
With Hiretual, with the team version, you can search all of LinkedIn globally as well.
With the team
with our
version
sourcing
or
AI.
free version? What kind of version?
The team version.
Team version. Team. Louder.
Team.
The team.
Yes.
Okay. What's the cost of the team version? $10,000 a year? Is that the secret?
No. We're very much known for over delivering at the right price, as you saw before or heard before.
Fred. I want to thank the great Jimmy Durbin, Alan Fleur, a guest in just a few weeks, the great Maureen Sherb, Graham Caulfield down in Texas, and our special guest, Ninh Okay, can I take control again, please, and ask her a question?
You got to do something with this thing, man. It's dying here, Animal.
Come on.
Please. Okay.
Has everybody heard about the virtual Christmas party? January 21st.
Shut
if not,
up!
go to jerrytherecruiter.com.
I will give you a chance if you ask me. Just don't butt in. I have not been able to talk for 5 minutes. Okay?
Forgive me.
Yeah, you got your